Today's video is brought to you by ProPlay Games. If you want to buy the latest singles or sets, look no further than ProPlayGames.com. And don't forget to keep up with our nationally renowned team by liking us on Facebook, following us on Instagram, and most importantly, subscribing to the ProPlay Games YouTube channel. Enjoy. Hey, what's up guys, it's Gage here with ProPlay Games, and today I'm just going to do a little bit of kind of market watch video as the market's been kind of going crazy for the past few days here, past few week. So I'm going to take some cards from the week that I think are notable or cards that have just significantly changed, and I'm going to kind of go over their price changes and why that might be. So I'm going to start it off real nice with a card that just happened, I think, yesterday, and that's Majestys Pegasus, which is a Magispector Field Spell card, which was released quite a while ago in Dimension of Chaos, but nobody really used it because Magispector as a pure deck really wasn't that viable. And of course, when we saw Magispector actually become a deck, we saw more of the demise kind of route take place. So special summoning Magispector monsters from deck was really not a relevant type thing. This card was kind of like maybe a $2-3 super rare card up until recently, where we see Magispector kind of becoming a deck now on its own, even with Kieran at 1 and everything, taking over like Pendulum by Storm. So a lot of people are really playing this card here, and it's really ridiculous being able to pull out the Bumbukus from the deck to be able to get to any other Magispector card you might need. That's not Kieran, of course. So this card is really viable in that deck, and you'll see a lot of people picking these things up to try to play with pure Magispector, as it is working out pretty well and everything. Trap heavy decks are just going to work out rather well, as you'll see. So Majestys Pegasus has raised from like a $3 card, kind of like an $8 card, and that's rightfully so and everything. You see it's kind of just balanced out at that point, and with the price trend you see it peaked all the way up there too. So I don't know, I think this is kind of like the high point of it, as it just happened really recently. I think it'll kind of bottom out maybe around like $6 and everything. People understand 8's a little bit much for a super rare, but we'll see kind of how it goes from there. It might take a little, like a day or two to bottom out, but as we see, Majestys Pegasus, not a pretty expensive card for a super rare at least. Another card that we don't look at is the Hidden City. I don't know, the Spiral guy's not really going up too much. The Super Agent, he's still around like a $7 card, as you can see actually down here. But Hidden City has gone up because it is a secret rare, and it is a field spell card for the Subterror archetype. We don't have any more Subterrors released. It's a TCG exclusive archetype, so we don't even have anything announced yet for the next set, but I can just tell Subterrors is actually going to be a pretty decent archetype, and as we've seen, people are just kind of like slowly creeping this card up and everything, because if the deck does become relevant, already coming out of the gate with 4 incredible cards from the first set, if they get anything actually half decent from this next set, it might be a viable deck to play, and Hidden City being a secret rare is going to be the go-to card people are going to want to get, being incredible in the deck, just being a rota for anything, because as soon as you activate it, you grab it. So Hidden City, if you can pick yours up rather cheap, I would try to do that, even in lieu of the deck. If it becomes good, you obviously plus a whole bunch with this, but even if it's just mediocre or something, you can probably still get return value for it, as it probably won't simmer lower than any like $10 or something like that. That just seems ridiculous if it does. So if you get the chance, I would definitely try to pick up Hidden Cities, because I definitely think they're going to stay at around the price they are, or rise exponentially if the deck actually becomes good. Something to look out for. Moving on further, we have Jeb Knight Seraphonite. This is something that went up really quickly overnight, and it I think 4 times price it used to be. It was like $20 for a solid day or two, and then now it's like simmering down and everything. We see it finally going down. Like the DTs were actually like $40, and the super rares were like around 20, which is still ridiculous. Now we've seen it kind of go down a little bit. We're seeing $12 and everything, and I think this is the price it's going to stay, $20 for the DTs. I think this is the price it's going to stay rather than the $5 it used to be, just because even if we see Brilliant Fusion get paid a lot more, this card is a must in paired with Brilliant Fusion, and I think people realize that, caught on to that, and they just end up raise the price a little bit, because it's either you play this with Brilliant Fusion, or you pretty much just don't play Brilliant Fusion at all, because this is the best card you can bring out with Brilliant Fusion. So keeping it at a $10 card, I feel like this is going to make people want to grab it still and everything. I don't feel it's that expensive that people are just going to avoid the Brilliant Fusion engine altogether, as Brilliant Fusion is pretty cheap with the reprint and everything coming out in the special edition. But this card has risen up quite a bit from what it used to be, and I think this is actually the price that it might stay in. I don't think it'll go any lower than $10. That makes sense to me. Moving into the next one, we have actually the new Ritual Beast, not new Ritual Beast, but Ritual Beast Ulti Gaia Pelio. And this thing actually, it doesn't look like that expensive, but it's actually sitting around $5 to $7 each, 5 for the ultra rares, and I think the ultimate rares are sitting around 10s. And this is because of the new announcement for the Ritual Beast guy, as this is pretty good to bring out with him. You just drop a free level 10, like no cost at all. Of course, you can't activate its effects and everything, but you get a level 10 beater, and this is obviously one of the best targets to bring out with that. So a lot of people kind of gravitated towards, well, this didn't get reprinted in the mega packs this year, maybe I should pick it up, and that's what it is. only pick up 1 or 2 copies if you want to. You're not going to get a return. I think they're going to still go down a little bit. As you see with the price trend, they're kind of peaked already, but I do feel like they're just going to go down over time. I don't feel like it'll be any higher than $5 for the ultra rare. As you only need like 1 copy. I don't think you need too many. So Ultimate Guy Pelio, if you manage to have a couple in your binder from saving them up, or if you collected them or something, you're in luck, I guess. You can trade them in for some value, or you can try to hold on to your 1 copy you'll need if you want to play Ritual Beast in the future. But that's in the very distant future. I don't think we're getting the card for another couple of months now. So if you want to think ahead, I would try to sell these now if you could. See if anybody wants to try to pick those up from you. So Ulti Guy Pelio is now around $5, $7, $10 for the Ulti. I would look into that. And now, after the cards that have risen up in price a lot, let's go to the cards that kind of like bottomed out or went down in price. Whitestone of the Ancients is a card I want to discuss. This is just pretty much for the Blue Eyes archetype as a whole. As we see the Blue Eyes archetype kind of settle into what it's here, you see some of the relevant prices down here, like Sage being 20 and everything, the Whitestone being 25. These pretty much I think are here to stay until the deck becomes a little bit irrelevant, and then it'll just go down in price. But I think this is the peak price. I think this is the price it's going to stay at for a while now. So if you're looking to pick up the Blue Eyes archetype, you're going to be dishing out quite a bit of cash, because that is the most relevant deck right now. Whether or not you want to spend all that money on this deck is up to you. I do feel like there's multiple other options you can try to invest in to see if they'll become good. Again, Sub-Terrors and even the Spirals, if you really want to take a gamble on that, those decks might be relevant relatively soon. So if you want to maybe take a gamble on one of those other decks rather than dumping all your money into Blue Eyes this late, completely up to you. But I think sitting at the $25 price for Whitestone at least, I think this is kind of what's going to stay. I think this is what's going to stick. So if you're going to look at investing into Blue Eyes, be prepared to dish out quite a bit of dollars. Moving on to the next card that kind of went down a lot, actually, is Herald of Perfection. This card went up a lot. I know ultis went up to like $30 a piece for a very short time and everything. And now we see the deck kind of settle down a little bit. People are like, okay, it's not that much money. As you see, pretty much all copies except the premium gold copies are like $10 each, with the premium gold copies being like $7, but that's ugly if you want to play those. And then I have the ultis up here too, sitting around $15 for a played kind of thing, but $20 for the ulti in pretty good condition. So, I mean, if you want to play the deck and everything, I still recommend getting Ultimate first because they're gorgeous. But if you want to play, it's actually becoming a little bit more budget than it was, the obscene pricing it was before. Like, I know the Ritual Spell card for this thing was like $5 for a common, which is absurd because it also got reprinted. I think that's simmering down to around maybe $2 now, so you can actually pick those up at a relatively decent price. So if you want to play Herald and everything, I don't know, the Ritual Sanctuaries might be a little bit pricey still because that is a secret rare from the most recent set. So I would just keep your eyes out, but as for Herald itself, it's gone down a little bit. Another card that has gone down is Pot of Desires, and that's sitting at around $70, and I think this is what it's going to stay at. I jumped up to $100 for a very short time and everything, but I think it's bottoming out around 70 to 65. I think you'll be able to find copies for 65 if you really try your hardest. But this card here is, everybody is claiming it's a staple in like every deck if you want to be playing this format. Entirely not true. I mean, you can definitely play without this card and everything, but this card is really, really powerful for what it does, and it does make a lot of decks viable that weren't before and everything. If you want to play like Herald or something, this is probably the priciest card you're gonna have to play, put, and people will claim, you don't need it, but it's probably necessary to kind of close out your turn and try to get to more resources for Herald. It just makes sense, and it does that with a lot of other decks too, where okay, it's not necessary, but if you want to play the deck at its fullest potential, you're going to probably want to pick these up. So sitting around $70, it is pretty pricey, probably the priciest card right now. So entirely up to you if you guys want to play it though, but I would definitely look into maybe selling your copies if you might be a little late, even now a little late. People were buying them for 80 probably willingly, but I think you might be a little late to sell them at the moment. So if you want to pick them up though, I would definitely try to shoot for 65, shoot for 60 if you possibly can, maybe like 180 for a set. But yeah, Pot of Desires now at around $70. I think it's here to stay at around that price, unfortunately. And now I want to just move on to some cards that I think you guys maybe should invest in for the near future. As new set is coming up upon us and everything, we have cards already we know we're going to get, and a lot of cards from the OCG kind of synergize with this, and even cards in the TCG that we're receiving might be okay to like pick up for these, and I'll explain them. First I have Bahama Truck. Bahama Truck, at least a secret rare copy, is sitting around $12 and everything, and this is because of Tree Toad. You're going to see mermaids, you're going to see sharks maybe even come up, and Bahama Truck into Tree Toad is a really ridiculous kind of play. So if you're going to be looking at maybe getting like a quick investment or anything. The premium golds are sitting around like $2 and everything. Guarantee they'll go up just maybe even $1, $1.02, and then you can sell all the bulk you pick up and everything. It just makes sense that it would do that because you're going to see Tree Toad get a lot of hype, a lot of play in its initial release and everything. If you want to invest in the secret rares, I think this would be the time to do it before it goes up in price. I know just in Mermail, it synergizes a whole lot with Tree Toad because Tree Toad on your opponent's turn, you can pitch like a heavy infantry on their turn, pop something, and then, you know, set something else too. A whole lot of synergy with Bahama Truck. I guarantee this card will go up, even if it's just a little bit, like maybe like $3 or something. It'll go up. So if you guys want to invest, I would invest in that now while you can. Another card is a Ghost Reaper and Winter's Cherry. This already went up a little bit. It's not quite the price it was, like $15, but it's kind of settling in at $25. This is going to be a lot more relevant when the ABC matchup comes out. You'll see a lot of people wanting to banish the fusion and everything. This card's only going to get better, I feel like, and it'll have times where it shines and it'll have times where it doesn't. Of course, we kind of missed its really down time where it was a $15 card at a time. Everybody could get access to them. Now we're sitting at 25. But I feel like if you want to get like early on the ABC train, this is now your time to do it. Otherwise, I think it's just going to go up a little bit, even if it doesn't go up that much. Didn't get a reprint in the Megaton and everything. It'll be a while before we get a reprint for Winter Cherries. So I think now's your time to pick them up if you want to pick those up. Sitting at around 25, they are a little pricey, but I think it's either now or never for these cards. They're going to just get more expensive, I feel. I don't think they'll ever be back at the price they were at 15. That just seems like it'll never happen again. I think people learned their lesson that this card actually has potential. Another card that I want to look at is Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. Not quite the priciest card. Was reprinted in the Megatins this year. But I think this is a card that, I don't know if it'll go up too much, but it's a card you guys should definitely look into if you want to buy maybe secret rare copies to bling out your deck. Because I feel like this card's going to be good against the field spells that we're coming across right now. Like we have Oracle of Zephyr being played in the Metal Foe matchup. Metal Foe Yangzing at least. And then we also have the Subterror field spell. A lot of field spells coming out, and a lot of field spells that we have now do things on their initial activation. Like the Subterror one searches a card as well as the Zephyr one. So Ghost Ogre is an absolute blessing in that matchup, being able to just pitch it and kill the field spell before they get any more advantage off of it. So I don't know if that's totally relevant to be picking them up, but I do feel like this card will always have potential and everything. Of course, you can just stick with the reprint super rares, but if you want to grab secret rares, I think they're pretty cheap right now. And the secret rares are just going to be harder to get. So if you want to pick those up, that's up to you and everything. But I do feel like this card, it might creep up just a little bit, if at all. But you can probably get the Megaton versions on the low if you want to get those. Maybe you can just get them as chump change. You probably could do that. But I feel like this card's going to be good in the coming formats and everything with the field spells kind of being changed. And the last card I just want to talk about is Cosmic Cyclone. And this card here, it has a very niche use that I'm going to tell you about, but it's like pay 1,000 and you target a spell and you banish it. Now, the thing is with this card is if Mystical Space Typhoon ever becomes a staple again, as opposed to Twin Twister, like if a deck ever plays it, this card will go up exponentially, because if it's either you're playing Cosmic Cyclone or you're playing MST, and Cosmic Cyclone just has more utility than a Mystical Space Typhoon would. So in more realities, you're going to be wanting to play Cosmic Cyclone, and the players that are going to have the better decks are just going to be playing Cosmic Cyclone because they can. So this is a card that I would definitely try to maybe pick up a playset of, hold on to for the long term, and when Mystical Space Typhoon just becomes better than Twin Twister, like MST was better in Twin Twister in the Pendulum format because you didn't want to discard any of your resources you had. I feel like when that opportunity or something similar to that comes around, Cosmic Cyclone is going to be the go-to card for that. So I feel like that's something you might want to invest in and everything. Kind of stay away from Mystical Space Typhoons unless you want the nostalgic, first eds or the ultimates, things that are easy to flip. I feel like this would be a safe investment for the future. So yeah, and that's kind of it, guys. There's a couple other cards, Floodgate Trap Hole is something you might want to look into, Quaking Mirror Force. Cards are good right now, but I think they're almost at their pre-price. I would look into Floodgate Trap Hole maybe, because I know that's been played in the OCG quite a bit. But as for the rest of the cards I talked about, those are the really relevant ones that I wanted to kind of go over and just tell you guys, what's going on in the market and what I think you should invest in, what I think you should drop. Hopefully this video was pretty informative for you guys, and, do what you want with your money. That's all I can say. But yeah, guys, be sure to subscribe to the Pro Play Games YouTube channel. Subscribe to my personal channel if you want to. I'll have links down to that below. And, as always, I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Gage with PBG, signing out. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching the video, and thank you to Pro Play Games for sponsoring this video today. If you guys go to the shop at proplaygames.com and use the promo code NIMNIM, you can actually get 10% off your order today there. That's pretty freaking awesome. But again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.